everywhere and increased surveillance everywhere. Yeah. There's an organization called DeFlock, who are semi-well known now, I guess, if you're interested in this stuff, who take a fairly aggressive approach in terms of counting the number of cameras and having a Discord channel where they talk about potential, activities to move against Flock and stop it expanding. What do you think of that organization and the way they go about their business?
Yeah, so I think there's really two groups of activists. You've got organizations like the ACLU and the EFF who take an above-board approach to fight for their point of view. And thankfully, we live in a beautifully democratic, capitalistic country where we can fight in court. And I have a lot of respect for those groups because they have reasonable debates and we follow the law. And then unfortunately, there's terroristic organizations like DeFlock, whose primary motivation is chaos. They are closer to Antifa than they are anything else. And that, I think, is unfortunate because we don't want chaos, or I don't want chaos. I like law and order. I like a society that has a bedrock of safety. So for those groups, I think it's just disappointing that they haven't chosen a more constructive mannerism to try to get what they want, which they have a right to have, but that's why we have a democratically elected process, right?
Thanks for the kind words, Garrett. But let's talk about that for a second, shall we? You say you respect the ACLU because of our above-board approach and that we have reasonable debates. And in fact, you talk about DeFlock and say, quote, "It's just disappointing they haven't chosen a more constructive mannerism to get what they want." Do you believe that labeling people who have an opinion different than yours and against your corporate profit-based interests as being terrorists, being above board, reasonable, and constructive? I think it's just the opposite, and it injects the sort of hyperbole into our political debates that not only is not constructive, but it's dangerous. But let's talk about what could be constructive. I have said before, and I'm saying again on this video, Garrett, that I would like to invite you to have a public debate, you and I, on whether or not using Flock ALPRs in the manner in which your company attempts to sell them to police departments throughout the country is safe for America and good for our constitutional rights, including our right to privacy. If you want to have that constructive, respectful debate, let's do it. Stop hiding. Let's be in the same place. If you respect the ACLU so much, let's make this happen. You can pick the place. You can even pick the independent journalist-moderator who can oversee our discussion, but let's make this happen. Let's bring this debate into the open and have it constructively and once and for all, whether or not pervasive ALPR surveillance is in the best interest of the United States of America. You know how to reach me, Garrett. I'm awaiting your call.